As fears grow over mass violence in the French capital, police have moved quickly to use tear gas against yellow vest protesters. At this stage, we know over 500 people have reportedly been arrested in Paris, with 300 of them placed in police custody. The protest movement has called this Saturday a day of rage, in what marks a fourth weekend in a row of anti-government rallies. Okay, so let's now get a sense of what is happening right now on the Parisian streets. As you can see, the yellow vest protesters in the distance there, almost a blockade of them as riot police, really geared up to the max. They've been firing, just waiting for the camera just to pan around here to see the police on the opposite side of the street there. Tear gas deployed. That is the smoke you're seeing on the streets now. Our correspondent is right now amongst them. Charlotte Dubinsky has been there some hours now and has seen the protest develop from early in the morning. Let's cross now to Charlotte and ask her what is happening right now. Charlotte, what we are really seeing here, aren't we? Yet more unrest on French streets. Another weekend, it seems to be building up to perhaps the worst we've seen.
Well, that's possibly, and that's exactly what the French government was warning this weekend. If we thought the violence last week was anything to go by, the government was saying it's going to be even worse now. We're just walking down the Champs-Élysées, and you probably can see the live pictures from our camera. There's been tear gas dispersed constantly on the Champs-Élysées since we arrived in the last few hours. And as you can see there, protesters are running towards the police in the distance, and more riot police now running down to aid their colleagues who are having glass bottles thrown at them. Look at those stun guns. We're seeing the tear gas being dispersed in the air now. It really does feel like this conflict is heating up and the tension is becoming relatively unbearable here in Paris. We've been speaking to people in the streets telling us what President Macron, what the government has done is not enough. But look at those pictures, that tear gas just raining down in the air now and just engulfing the entirety of the Champs-Élysées. Unbelievable. You can barely see past that cloud down, those stun guns still going off, and that cloud of tear gas raining down. Let's take a listen to what some of the protesters have been telling us.
I came here today because I come every day. There was violence today also. But what I saw last week on the 1st of December really affected me. That's why I've come here today.
Our policy is not right. Our deputies don't represent us. We don't like the minimum wage. We are already at the minimum.
The whole of France is here. I identify myself with the yellow vests. The yellow vests are here in support of an idea. The whole nation is one. The whole of France is here. There is no difference between us. They are imposing taxes, taxes, taxes. And it cannot be like that anymore.
Well, as you can see, the Champs-Élysées still getting crazy with that tear gas just engulfing. We had been told that over 500 people had been taken in, arrested by the police. Over 300 of those have been staying in custody, and that was in an attempt by the police to try and control the violence that they were expecting here in places like the Champs-Élysées, but it doesn't seem like that's happened. The tension is ratcheting up here. As you can tell, those stun guns are going everywhere. And it is absolutely crazy here at the moment on the Champs-Élysées. We will, of course, keep you up to date as this story develops.
Yeah, we have to bear in mind, of course, Charlotte, is one of the busiest, if not the busiest shopping day of the year. This is central Paris. Tourists galore would have booked their time there for maybe months ago, and this is the scenes that they are seeing. Authorities really at this stage not looking as if they are in control of those extreme yellow vest protesters. Of course, a lot of peaceful protesters out there as well in Paris. Charlotte, thank you very much for that. So again, just to reiterate, these are live scenes of what is happening right now in Paris. As you can see, two lines of barricades, one the authorities, the other here the protesters. There have been really running battles at each other right throughout the day in Paris, as Charlotte was just speaking about the tear gas being used in the middle of them at the moment. Well, French publisher and journalist Aymeric Monville says the silence of officials, and especially that of the country's president, is not helping the situation.
The most dangerous is the violence of the state, not the violence of the people. And when they speak about a real military coup d'etat, we must take it very seriously. And the silence of President Macron is very worrying. Of course, his strategy is to let his prime minister taking the rap, like he did all this week, because this week there was a lot of confusions. They made a lot of concessions, but it was too late. People wanting to go away, and maybe we'll speak next week, but it's too late.
Well, France is not the only country facing discontent on its streets. In Belgium, police have arrested around 100 people trying to start their own yellow vest protest. A Brussels police spokesperson said that demonstrators had not received permission for the rally.